Yo, what is up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. I am going to make a shorter video today where I just walk you through a couple of team comps that I use to clear Dragon B10. Now, I do want to start by saying that I consider this like a beginner, fusible, free-to-play team for a couple of these comps, and that's because you're going to need the Fire Vampire Veredhille once he's awakened. That's his name. And I do consider him a very obtainable monster because in order to get him, you need to fuse him. And if you look at the fusion info required for him, he's actually pretty relatively easy to get. You need the Fire Imp Champion, a Water Werewolf, the Fire Golem, and then you also need the Wind Monster right there. So anyways, I just wanted to lead in by saying I know that I'm going to be using Verd, but I do really consider him an achievable monster for the sake of this training. So let's dive right in. I'm going to talk about the mechanics of the Dragon's Lair while we fight through it with the first team comp. So the first team comp, just to jump right in, is Verd, Vero, Sig, Megan, and Bella. Now my Bella is 2A and I do have a lot of these monsters on Violent Runes, but what I will tell you is that you're able to clear this with these monsters on, if you don't have Violent, you can use Swift Runes and just get them some good speed. So I'll talk about what their runes need to look like to achieve this. My Verd is actually on Swift, so very achievable, very doable, and then once you clear this for a little while, you'll be able to get some of the Violent Runes that you need to be able to clear it even faster. But this is a pretty stable comp. So a couple of things that I want to point out as you are approaching the boss, you do want to have some sort of cleanser. So I personally like Vero. Most of the levels are going to do DOT, damage over time, to your team as a harmful effect. And you do want to be able to combat that if you do take damage, and Vero is the way to do that. Additionally, the crystals can do a defense break. And again, if you've got that cleanse going for you, that's really, really helpful. So we're going to get to the dragon right here in just a second. And so what I want to point out about the dragon is that he has a couple of powers from the crystals that are frustrating, hard to deal with, but super, super important to understand. So the crystal on the left, when it hits its max bar, its attack bar fills up, it applies a damage over time to your entire team. So again, having a cleanser is really important. That crystal on the left, or excuse me, on the right, is an immunity crystal. So when that attack bar fills up, it's going to cleanse every harmful effect from the dragon, and it's then going to give him immunity. Now, that's why it's important that you have both Bella and Megan, in my opinion, if you want a nice stable team, because Bella can strip that immunity effect, as can Megan with her Toad Poison, and Bella can deal a defense break, which is really, really helpful for beating the boss. So you can see that team comp is pretty nice. You land the defense break, you remove the immunity, and you've got Vero to cleanse you, and you've got Bella to heal you just to kind of keep everything moving. So I won't spend a ton of time on this team because I want this video to be relatively quick and easy to digest. But I do want to show you some of the other teams that I work with. So let's pop into the boss with my next team. So my next team comp I like because it's pretty stable and it works pretty well. And I just jumped right to the dragon so you could see it. I still am, using a couple of the same principles, but this time I brought in the twins, Shaina and Sabrina. I still have Vero for a cleanser. I still need a cleanser, in my opinion, for this kind of team comp. And I still need Megan because, as you can see, that dragon's going to get an immunity, and the defense break the twins deal will stop working. But as soon as they break that immunity, then we've got the opportunity to land the defense break. Now, the one downside of this team is that the defense break for them is only one turn. And so you're probably not going to deal a lot of damage from, the other monsters. You are going to get a couple of immunity buffs, and you do need to be either really strong with your twins so that you don't run into what I just ran into, which is that the dragon basically, he gets down to less than 15% health, his strength goes up, and he basically, annihilates one of your twins. You need to have some strength in your twins to be able to withstand that sort of attack. Or you need to be really strong with the twins so that you don't have multiple immunity buffs. So I could probably stand to ruin my twins a little better for this, but that's the second team comp that I use. So I just want to finish by saying, if you're thinking about doing dragons, those are a couple comps. There are discussions about should you go a face versus a tower team, basically meaning do you attack the dragon first or the towers first? I don't recommend destroying the towers and the dragon if you're kind of looking into that for a multitude of reasons, but basically, with one of these team comps, you have the ability to collect Violent, Shield, and Revenge runes, which Revenge runes are going to help you when it's time to get to Necropolis B10, and the Shield runes are going to be really helpful for some of the arena, some guild war, things like that. So anyway, you now have a couple of teams to clear out the dragon's lair. I hope you find that helpful. If you did, make sure to drop me a comment, a like, and a subscribe below. I will be releasing regular content on this channel. My goal is actually to release a video a day for the next 90 days around how-tos, trainings, summoning, things like that. So if you enjoy the game, like, subscribe, thumbs up, all that good stuff, and I will catch you in the next video.